Hello and welcome to Bazzagolf and another big golf tour. Sunrise here in beautiful Scotland. We're at Montrose Golf Course today. So I've been asked a few questions about my chipping. I've obviously been posting a few videos out there, and the few questions that have come through have been around, so what have I done to improve it, and what kind of techniques, what things am I doing, because obviously people are seeing improvements. So I thought I'd share it with you. We'll go right through end to end from the basics of my chipping technique now, and we'll have a look at the different clubs and a few different shots as well. This is by no stretch of the imagination supposed to be a lesson or anything like that. This is just what I do, and if you get anything out of it, so be it. This may not be the pro way to do things. I've kind of picked things up as I've gone along, but this is the technique and the method that I've settled on for now for my chipping, and it appears to be working. So let's get right into it, and we'll start off by looking at the basics. So the fundamentals, the stance, the grip, how we're holding the club and which clubs that we're using for what kind of chips. Then we'll do some work around the front of the green here, around the fringe, and then we'll do some shots from 10 yards, 20 yards and 30 yards and see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and let's get right into it. First of all then is the stance. Now this would be my kind of normal stance for hitting a pitch shot or an iron shot or whatever it may be, but for chip shots I try and just keep about a ball's distance or a couple of balls distance between my feet. So I bring them in actually quite close together, and then most of my weight is going to be on my leading leg. As far as grip is concerned, now I hold the club very, very loosely. It's barely like I'm holding on to it. The grip isn't tight at all. It's almost like you could, if you really launch it, it could come out of your hands. One of my friends said it's like holding a baby bird. But where I get my kind of knowledge from is playing snooker and pool for a lot of years. And the tighter that you hold the cue, the less spin or less reaction you get out of the cue ball. The looser you hold it and the better the tempo for the follow through, then the more spin you're likely to generate. So what I do is when I'm actually getting ready to play my shot, you'll see part of my routine is I stand over the ball for a second, and what I'm doing is I'm just relaxing my hands a bit. So I'm taking less grip on the club, and that helps, or should help, generate a little bit of action on the ball. So the other bit is, where do I hold the club? Well, it's right down on the bottom of the grip really. So I've got about that much at the top, and I'm gripping right the way down, almost on the shaft. The next little bit then is the stance. Where is the ball in relation to my feet? Is it forward? Is it back? It really depends on the chip shot. So the further back in your stance, the lower the ball flight is going to be. The further forward in your stance, so towards your front foot or towards your target, the higher the ball flight will be. So it really depends on the shot that you're playing. I'm more comfortable playing it just off the inside of my front foot, and then playing the chip like that. Then I know the ball is going to get a little bit aloft. The next bit is hand position at impact. Now, in my head, what I'm trying to achieve at impact is I'm trying to keep my hands advanced of the club head, so the shaft will almost come through at this, or feel like it's coming through at this kind of angle. This stops me from grounding the club before the ball, so that's the only reason really I do it. I don't know if that is a proper technique or chipping technique, but I find that if I have my front arm held out, my weight forward, and I try and keep my hand in front of the club head, I get a better contact with the ball and a better reaction when the ball hits the green. So that's predominantly what I do, what technique I use. Let's have a look at a couple of shots. Different clubs serve different purposes. So I have a 52, a 56 and a 60. The 52 is for kind of bump and runs. I play this almost like a long putt. So all I want to do is get this 25% of the way there and let it roll out. So really what I'm doing beforehand is I'm looking and seeing if I played this like a putt, what would the break be, and then align with where I want the ball to land, so the break takes it towards the hole and hopefully somewhere close. So let's start with the 52, go through the whole routine with you, what I do to align it up, play a couple of chips, and hopefully you'll see it work out. So front edge of the green, we're about 8-9 feet off of the green, and we're rolling up to the flag in the distance there. So feet very close together. I'm about 1.5 foot measurements away from the ball, and I'm lifting the club up so it's toe down, so the heel is off of the floor, and then I apply that technique of weight forward. I'm just going to swing back and rotate my body towards the target. So, alignment, I want it about there, get myself square to the target, weight on my front foot, and then take it back, turn the body, and that's pretty much it. So next is the 56 degree then. I play exactly the same technique, nothing changes. I do strike the ball a little bit firmer, so the takeaway is a little bit further back, but this ball will carry about half the way to the target and then roll out from around the green. So find my aim point. Exactly the same technique as we did with the 52, just a little firmer strike. That got a bit of a weird bounce, didn't it? Okay, so there you go. So that's the 56 then. Just get a little bit firmer strike. You can carry that one halfway and then let it roll out to the green. Next up, 60 degree. So this one's going to carry about 75% of the way there and hopefully check and stop a little bit faster. I don't generate an awful lot of spin though, so we'll see. This technique again is all about hands, keeping them nice and loose, and just striking the ball cleanly. I'll be honest, the 60 still isn't my favourite club to work with around the greens, but that's a pretty good result. Each one of those is within a couple of feet of the hole, and I'd be perfectly happy with that out on the course. So let's move on to a 10-yard chip. I definitely know there are people out there that are not fans of my technique. It's very basic, it's square faced, so I'm not playing on opening the club face up or anything like that yet. This is just the basics of trying to get on the green and as close to the flag as possible with the tools that I have in my hand, and I'm still learning. So I don't use any bounce. This is all leading edge kind of chipping, and it's just about trying to control the flight and distance. So for now it's basics, and later on maybe we'll move on to some advanced chipping in another video, but let's focus on the basics for now. We're about 10 yards away from the target here. We'll try a bump and run first with the 52 degree. So we've just got to make sure we go through all the motions again. We've got to line it up, we've got to get our weight in the right position, stance correct, grip correct, takeaway right, and make sure that when we follow through, our hands are in front of the club face. If we do that correctly, we should get a reasonable result. Now the other thing is, we shouldn't be scared of it. We've got to get it there, and 9 times out of 10, what you would do in these kind of chips is you'll underhit it, or you'll slow down, or you'll de-accelerate, but you've got to stay confident with your chip shots. do it just being a little bit firmer, a little bit more attack on that shot. There you go, that's really nice. Again, just checking that everything's right, ball's in the right place in the stance, got the weight on the right side, take away and rotate, hands in front of the club face. And okay, so there you go. That's the 52 degree, and depending on the course, that I might choose to play that shot, a little bump and run. But normally I would go to the 56, and that one's next. So I just played my first shot with the 56 there, hold out, but I forgot to press record. So let's do it again. Next up, 60 degree. Okay, I think that will do with the 60 degree. Let's go back another 10 yards and we'll try a chip in from 20 yards. So let's start with the 52 degree again. For this distance for me, we go for the same flag, but for this distance for me, playing a 52 bump and run here brings this bunker into play because you don't know how it's going to bounce. So if it was on the course, I'd probably avoid this shot. But we're going to give it a try anyway, just to see what the results are like. Okay, looks like we can be a little bit more aggressive with this. No, it's not moving to the green. So I'm actually quite scared of this shot. Attack it. And then there's the issue, if you do overplay it with a 52 degree, it's just gonna roll off. That one hit the green and just went for miles. So it isn't necessarily one I take a 52 at, but handy to have it in your pocket just in case. So this shot for me has 56 degree written all over it. It's still a chip shot, but I can attack the green and it takes the bunkers out of play completely. So there you go. I think that demonstrates why I would tend to go for the 56 degree there. We've still got one more club, so let's give the 60 a go as well. So 60 degree then, we can attack this one again, going for a little bit closer to the flag, get it into the middle of the green, see how the ball reacts. Yeah, a little bit more confidence. I think that's the kind of shot that you could go after, but I'm not that confident yet with this 60 degree. So let's go back another 10 yards or so and try some more. So now we're definitely into pitch shot territory, and taking a 52 degree here I think would be too risky if I was out on the course. We're going to give it a try. I think the bunker here comes into play though. Wow, that wasn't too bad. Nope. Okay, so 50-50 okay there, and that would be my main concern, is that I know that I couldn't carry that one onto the green, so I'm dependent on a bounce, and obviously there was a miss hit in there as well. So for me again, I think my default is likely to be the 56 for this kind of shot. Let's give it a go. Oh, and I know I said we'd be looking at 10 yard, 20 yard, 30 yard chips. That I meant off of the green, so that's the carry distance to the green. This is about 30-35 actually, and then another 15 or so yards onto the flag, so it's actually about a 45-yard shot. Okay, so there you go. Next up, 60 degree. Okay, and that's pretty much as good as I could hope for with my 60 degree there. So pretty pleased with that. I think one of the biggest challenges that mid to high handicappers have is that we don't see enough shots. I mean, we can't imagine enough shots, so we tend to just take a club out of the bag and hit it. Whereas when you listen to good players, they're always talking about what different options they have. But to know that you've got options, you've got to practice different options. So this kind of exercise that I'm going through here today enables me to see the different types of chip and pitch shots I can play, and then maybe gives me a little bit more variety when I'm out on the course. I can think a little bit more about the shot that I want to play. So while my chipping is by no stretch of the imagination perfect or decent, it's certainly a lot better than where I was even 6 months ago. So I'm going to continue persevering with it and try and get better, and maybe learn some new and more techniques. So thanks for watching. See you next time on Big Golf Tours, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.